History is not a straight line, it's more like a tangled, branching tree. We know the story of Leif Erikson. We know he touched the shores of a land he called Vinland around the year 1000. He saw its green promise, he saw its wide rivers, he saw its thick forests. But in our timeline, he left. His people packed their longships and sailed back to the icy shores of Greenland. They left only whispers and a few buried relics behind. But what if they had not? What if the call of this new world was just too strong to ignore? Imagine a different story, where the dragon-headed prows of Viking longships did not turn back, where they stayed. The decision wasn't a single moment. It was a slow burn of necessity and of opportunity, so they began to build, not temporary camps but permanent homes. The first encounters were tense. The sagas call the native peoples Skrælings. We know them now as the ancestors of the Mi'kmaq, Beothuk, other Algonquin-speaking peoples. In our history, these meetings were often fleeting and violent, but in this new timeline, the Norse were determined to make Vinland their home. Something different had to happen. Survival depended on it. Trade was the first bridge. The Vikings had iron axe heads, knives, nails. Those tools were powerful to people who worked with stone. The Native Americans had knowledge. They knew the land. They knew which plants could heal, which plants could feed. A new kind of trade began. It was not just goods, but ideas. A Viking jarl might trade a steel axe head for a season's worth of knowledge on trapping beaver. As years turned into decades, the lines between the two cultures began to blur. The initial settlements, once fortified outposts, became vibrant, mixed communities. Intermarriage, once a matter of political alliance or simple proximity, became common. Children were born with the fair hair of their Norse fathers and the dark eyes of their Algonquin mothers. They were raised with a dual heritage, a foot in two worlds. They learned to track game in the forest from their mother's kin, and to sail a nar across the stormy northern seas from their fathers. This new generation, the Vinlanders, were a people forged in the crucible of the new world. Their spiritual lives became a fascinating tapestry of belief. While some clung fiercely to the old ways, many found common ground. The Vinlander longhouse was no longer just a home but a community center, larger and more open, incorporating the communal living style of the native longhouses. Inside, the air would be thick with the smell of roasting venison. Back in Europe, the ripples of Vinland's success spread slowly, then all at once. For a century or two, it was just a rumor. A distant land of endless wood-rich soil, a haven from the plagues and politics of the old country. But the ships kept coming back. They brought back strange new goods. Thick furs of beaver and mink timber of a quality not seen in Europe's depleted forests, and dried maize, a peculiar but plentiful grain. The map of the world began to change. Vinland went from myth to mapped destination. When Christopher Columbus set sail in 1492, his journey would have been entirely different. He wasn't sailing into the unknown, he was trying to find a southern passage around a known continent. Isabella and Ferdinand were motivated to break the Norse and Hanseatic monopoly on Western trade. In this alternate 2025, the world looks profoundly different. The Americas are not dominated by the legacies of Spain, England, France. The northern half of the continent speaks a range of languages derived from Old Norse Algonquin. The cultural landscape of North America is a rich mosaic. Imagine a skyline: New York, Nija Jorvik, skyscrapers of steel and glass, grand halls in modern Norse style. Democratic traditions might owe as much to the Viking thing, Iroquois-style confederacies, as to the Magna Carta, the Athenian agora. The global balance of power would be unrecognizable. This alternate timeline teaches us a lesson. History is not predetermined. The decision of a few hundred Norse settlers, the most profound changes often begin with a single bold journey into the unknown.